Hi guys! Welcome back to Storytime with Tilly. Have you been reading any interesting books lately? You have? I'm so happy for you. I've got an interesting book for you today. It's about weather. Do you guys like learning about weather? The sunshine, the rain, the hail, right? I think most of us have been getting that kind of a spring weather. Well, the book that I have for you today, it is called Vivi Loves Science. Vivi loves science, wind and water. Vivi listened to the wind howl. She watched the rain splash against her window. It was a stormy night, but Vivi felt safe and warm tucked in her bed. Did you hear the storm last night? Vivi asked at breakfast the next morning. Yes, said Vivi's mother. It was a big one. I heard Ranger Earl needs volunteers to help clean up the beach, said Vivi's father. Let's go. Vivi jumped up from the table. Graham can come too. When Vivi and Graham got to the beach, they couldn't believe what they saw. There were bottles covering the dunes. There were cans on the sand, and there was debris everywhere. The beach was a mess. It also looked completely different. Where are the tide pools? Asked Vivi. What happened to the dunes? Asked Graham. A big storm can change the shape of the land, Ranger Earl explained. But how? Vivi asked. Storms can cause erosion, said Ranger Earl. What is erosion? Asked Vivi. Erosion is when natural forces, such as wind or water, move or wear away rock or soil, Ranger Earl said. Erosion can change a coastline and create rivers and canyons. Wow, said Vivi. Like the Grand Canyon? That's right, said Ranger Earl. Vivi and Graham took a break to have a snack. Ranger Earl told them about other famous examples of erosion from around the world. Mammoth Cave, Elephant Trunk Hill, and White Cliffs of Dover. Erosion can happen very quickly, like with this big storm, she said, or it can take a very long time, even millions of years. Miss Costu, Vivi and Graham's science teacher at school, was helping to clean up the beach as well. Hi, kids, said Miss Costu. Did you know the storm filled in the tide pools? Vivi asked her. Ranger Earl told us how the wind and water can change the shape of the land, Graham said. Look at the new dunes. They were caused by erosion, said Vivi. You got it, said Miss Costu. Ocean waves are a powerful force, and so is the wind. Graham and Vivi worked hard to clean up the beach. They picked up the bottles, they hauled away the cans, and they collected the garbage. It took all day. Luckily, many people from their community pitched in and helped. The next day in science class, Vivi and Graham told their friends about how the beach had changed because of the storm. Yesterday, Graham and Vivi learned about erosion, Miss Costu said. Today, they will do an experiment to show us how wind and water can move sand. Miss Costu gave everyone a worksheet. She gave Vivi and Graham the materials for the experiment. They had 2 containers, sand, water, and a straw. Earth science is a study of how the earth changes over time, said Miss Costu. Wind and water are important forces on Earth. Graham dumped sand into one container, making a small hill. First, we will talk about water, he said. Did you know that water erosion creates rivers and streams? Vivi asked. Water can also carve out caves and hills and make cracks in the rocks, Graham added. Vivi picked up a container of water. Watch what happens when I pour water on the sand. I'm pretending to beat the rain, she said. See how the water ran down the hill? Graham said. It pushes the sand out of the way and made a river. That's erosion, Vivi exclaimed. That's so cool, said Mia. Graham dumped a pile of sand into the other container. Now we will talk about the wind, he said. Did you know that the wind helps make the sand dunes at the beach? Vivi asked. And some sand dunes in the desert are thousands of feet high, Graham added. Taller than the tallest building in the world, Vivi said. This time, Vivi used the straw. She blew on the sand. I'm pretending to be the wind, she said. See how the wind moved the sand? Graham said. Look, Mia pointed. The pile of the sand changed shape. I think erosion is cool, Benji said. It is, but sometimes erosion can be dangerous, said Miss Costu. For example, sand dunes are important because they keep water from traveling inland and flooding towns and homes. I bet that's why we can't walk on the dunes, Vivi said. Miss Costu nodded. That's right. We don't want to crush the plants that hold the sand dunes together. On Saturday, Vivi and Graham went back to the beach. Look, the tide pools are here, said Vivi. Good point. The wind and the waves from the storm moved the sand in, Ranger Earl said, and the water from the tide took the sand away again. Without erosion, we wouldn't have the beach, Graham said. Vivi smiled. Without science, she said, we wouldn't know how things work. Science is the best. Wasn't that a cool book? Did you guys learn something new today? Erosion is cool, huh? It shapes the sand and the beaches that we walk on. If you guys have ever gone to the Grand Canyon, you have seen the effects of the erosion. On the cliffs, right? The beautiful shapes and colors. So spring break is coming up for those of you who haven't had it yet. I hope you will get to travel with your family, maybe take a road trip, and see if you can spot some places that have had erosion happen to them. Alright guys, I'm so glad you were able to join me today for Storytime with Tilly. If you liked the video, please press like and subscribe. And I will see you in my next Storytime video. And as always, my dear readers, you are important. You are smart, and you are loved. Bye. Have a good day.